Claude Code is $100 a month, at least for the subscription that allows you to do something and not run out of credits right away. But Kimi Code is $19 a month. But is it good enough to take over and become my go-to tool? I've been using Claude Code for a few months now and it's changed my workflow completely. It's become a bit of a command center. I can plug it to different MCPs. It can help me do my SEO, my marketing, even my Facebook ads. It is unreal. But it comes at a hefty cost. $100 American is about $250 Australian, which is quite a bit. And to make things a little bit more interesting, Kimi from the Chinese AI company called Moonshot came out with a brand new model, Kimi 2.5, and their benchmarks look impressive. I mean, they kind of state that they beat or at least compete with Claude Code on a few benchmarks. Now, benchmarks are all well and good, but they're a little bit like everybody's Tinder profile. They make you look a little bit better than you actually are, if that metaphor makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test these using the exact same tools because they can access MCPs and everything else. We're gonna do a bit of a showdown and I'm gonna give them the exact same prompts that I use on a daily basis. I've set everything up. I have Claude Code on the left, I have Kimi Code on the right. They're open on the same folder, so they have access to the same knowledge. By the end of this video, you're going to know if you can swap over to Kimi Code and save yourself $80 a month. Let's get to the first test. So I'm gonna paste it on Claude Code. I'm gonna paste the same prompt on Kimi Code. Now they all have access to an MCP called DataForSEO, which allows it to pull real world data. So they're both working with the same data set. I'm gonna test how quickly they are, if they get the task, and if I need to kind of help it along here. Essentially we're saying, using DataForSEO, find the keywords opportunities for this website, get the current ranked keywords, the domain, identify potential keywords, and a bunch more things. You're gonna get the idea when hopefully they give us the return, and let's see the first outcome here. Whilst we do all these tests, I want to kind of make sure that you understand, at least from my perspective, the AIs are getting to the point here where I think they're becoming commodities in the same way that electricity or water is. And by that, I mean that they're all kind of smart enough now. It's just about how easy they are to plug into your workflow. And it's a commodity in the same sense that you don't care where you get your electricity from, as long as you get the electricity. AI, in my opinion, is becoming like that for most people anyway. So my thing here is it's all now about the pricing. So can Kimi Code compete with Claude and allow me to save myself $80 a month? I gotta prove a few things for everything. I wanna keep everything as fair as possible. So we'll go side by side and we'll see which one kind of gets to it first and which one gives me data that kind of makes sense as well. Okay, so in terms of timing, Kimi definitely finished first. So I'm gonna prove a couple of things for Claude to do its thing, and let me check the folder here. So they both finished at relatively the same time. What I'm just gonna ask is to turn both of them into a HTML report that is easier to see side by side. I'm gonna give them 1 second to do that. Okay, now just to keep things similar, remember I've got Claude Code's result on the left and Kimi Code on the right. Keyword opportunities for the report, not too bad. Current domain metrics. Okay, this is kind of giving me the quick wins right away. Financial advisor, analysis. Okay, this is telling me a little bit more analytically the keywords opportunities 20, which is not bad. Difficulty, oh, it's found already the things that it's not ranking for and what it should do. Okay, nice. High opportunities, very similar here. Claude Code is investment calculator. That's not a bad idea. Is this one here? No. Okay, cool. Same data set. I want to see the analysis here. Cluster recommendations. Cluster with primary targets. Retirement accounts, IRA, 401k retirement services. So similar recommendations here. Retirement advisory services, retirement planning that I should do. I kind of like this a little bit more, but it's just getting straight to the point. Fiduciary services, financial advisor services, investment tool advice. This one's a good idea that Kimi didn't see. Investment calculator, I like that. That's just going to be a kind of page that's going to get you a little bit of traffic here. Quick wins, recommendation strategy. Let's see the final kind of results here. Create a 401k financial advisors page. Yes. California State teachers retirement. That's a good idea. actually. Add an FAQ pricing page, difficulty. Yeah, I mean the current status of it. I don't mind both of these actually. You know, they're the same data, they've just taken it slightly different here. You know, is Claude Code $80 better in that instance? I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest. So I don't think it was such a shocking change. Both data sets are making sense for me. Depending how you like this, you can kind of prompt it one way or another. But sure, the design straight off the bat looks a little bit better on Claude Code. And Kimi looks classic AI generated, but that's okay. I like some of the things that it found here. So backdoor Roth IRA, that's an interesting one. Teacher retirement is a really interesting one that Claude didn't even really think about because they're getting the same data set. So yeah, look, I'm gonna give them both a tick here because really they both did it. I like the analysis that Kimi Code gave me and Claude Code. I don't think it's $80 worth more. A lot of other things to take into consideration, but if we keep it there nice and simple, I think they both gotta get a score there. So let's go into the next test. Okay, I'm gonna use the same window to text kind of the context length. You can see at the bottom, but that by default, Kimi already tells me how much of the context window it's used. Claude Code can do that, but it's in the settings, but that's okay. So I have a prompt here that is going to do competitor research for us. I love doing competitor research, as sad as that statement sounds, because it really helps you understand what are the things you kind of really need to do to outrank your competitor right away. I'm just going to tell here at the end for Kimi to say, turn it to a HTML report, and at the end of the name, add Kimi. And same thing here, but obviously add Claude. So hit enter on Claude, hit enter in Kimi, and let's see what we get. And again, you start seeing this pattern of they're both pretty good. This is starting to turn into a commodity. As long as you can inject quote unquote intelligence, then you might as well go for the cheaper option, which is kind of already impressive in its own. And we're testing a couple of things here. Not only can it use the tools without having to kind of tell it how it works, so the DataForSEO MCP, can it analyze all the data and think a little bit critically more or less into what I should be doing here. Cool. And with this one, Claude Code was quite smart here. It already finished, but it finished because it figured out that, well, it already had a lot of data here, so it only needs to get competitor data. It's got all the data from the website that we're analyzing, which is Financial Advisor Pro, which is quite smart. So it's kind of making use of what it has as opposed to getting everything again, whereas Kimi is getting all the data for both websites again that technically didn't have to, because it already had all the data for one website from the previous command, which is in the same conversation. Interesting. Whew. Now, I've been waiting for about, I don't know, 10 minutes. As I said, Claude Code has been done already, and Kimi Code is still going. So in terms of efficiency, Kimi, not so much, at least not so far, but I want to wait to see the report. Oh, okay. After a good 10 minutes, this one done. So I think Kimi in this perspective took about, I want to say 3 times longer. So I'm going to check out both reports here and let's see how they look. Okay, Claude Code on the left, Kimi on the right. Domain comparison, quite nice right away. 85 keywords, so the same data, which is good, right? We're starting off the same data set, but interestingly, the traffic value 4 corners is a little bit higher. Give me quick wins right away. A bit more key insights here. Recommendations. Financial advisors in Vegas, Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, they're giving me similar results, but Claude Code really understood the geographical location of the websites that we're trying to rank. Whereas, I mean, it's not too bad, but there's some confusion from Kimi right away. Advisor keyword summary, not too bad though. I think, and again, this is very subjective until we actually do the test and stuff like that. That's why this test is not so scientific, but from my gut right away, Kimi isn't horrendous, but Claude Code is a little bit better. It understood the competitors and what we're trying to do a little bit better. Again, the design's a lot better, but the keyword data is much the same and it's handled in a similar way. Kimi Code did take a long while, which, you know, that's really up to you to decide if that kind of bothers you in terms of, does it ruin your workflow, or you're happy to kind of let it run, get a coffee or something and then come back? It's fine. I'm gonna give that to Claude Code simply because of how much quicker it was, and I personally like the analysis a little bit better. Let's do site audit and speed. These two should be together, but I want to get cracking in this video to actually give you a result. So again, same context window. I'm going to give it the same prompt, make it into, for all that we have done, considering Kimi has only gone through 33% of its context, which isn't too bad at all. We're going to see how these do. Hopefully, there's not so much of a time difference here. So there is an API call, which is a Lighthouse API call that allows you to see how quickly a website is loading. The reason why we want to do these tests is because when you go on your website often, all the files get actually saved in your browser if you visit a certain website a lot. So it doesn't give you the correct indication of anybody who's coming new to your website of how quickly the website actually loads. So it's good getting these types of report, and load time speed is a critical factor, not only from SEO perspective, but a conversion rate optimization perspective. So you want to get that right, and it's one of the first reports that I run all the time. There's other tools to do this, by the way, GT Matrix and stuff like that, but if you can do it all in one tool, not bad. Okay, and timing again, so Claude already finished this, the audit, worked for 6 minutes, quite a long while, but Kimi's still going, so I think it's clear that whilst Claude is a bit more expensive, the smarter it is, allows it to make the right decision, so it's a lot more effective and therefore quicker. But let's see the end results here anyway. Okay, we're both done. Again, Claude on the left, this one, and Kimi on the right. Interesting, different different overall health reports. Claude finding a lot more issues than Kimi, which is interesting. Claude's telling me to optimize the images right away, which is a really low-hanging fruit, and kind of for a lot of people that kind of helps you a lot. Reduce server response time, just doesn't mention that. Reuse unused JavaScript, missing schema, loading at 3.8 seconds, which is a tad too much. I wonder if this tells us this. Title tag too long. Add schema. Yeah, fix the colors, implement critical issues. Largest loading time, I know that's a fix. Kimi just missed all that. The data that it has isn't terrible, but it missed a lot of components that I know that website needs. Not terrible at all, the website's quite good, but you know, it can always be a little bit better. It gives me the metrics here at the end, why I got there. And it's giving me an executive summary at the end. Audit summary, it's, okay, it's pretty good. Yeah, not horrendous, but again, I might give that to Claude simply because it was a bit more specific in the items that I wanted. I wanted it to tell me the loading time speed, and this, unless I missed it, but no, it missed it overall. And I also know that it actually has schema, this website, and Claude's not telling me that it's missing schema because it isn't, whereas Kimi's just kind of hallucinating that. So I'm gonna give that the audit to both, but the site speed to Claude right away. And I think the context handling, they're both pretty good. Claude Code is a little bit better though. Look, value for money, I think you need to make a decision here. I don't think Kimi's terrible, but I definitely think that Claude has the upper hand here in just how damn good the model is. Because it's smarter, it's a little bit more efficient in that sense. It's a little bit quicker than Kimi Code. And I think you really have a kind of a genius level of Claude Code. You do with Kimi as well, but you still see difference. My main thing here is that I don't think it's an $80 worth of difference, right? And I think $100 is a bit too much. And the fact that Kimi is this good, really competitive, Claude Code has the edge, but not by that much. So I think if you're really wanting to get into using very efficiently AI tools into your marketing, Kimi Code is a fantastic alternative for $20 a month as opposed to paying $100. I think it definitely wins value for money. Is it as good as Claude Code? No, but not by much, to be honest, at all. So maybe it might be worth me doing a whole video on how to install Kimi Code and how to do SEO with that. If you want that, leave it in the comments below, because it might be a lot more approachable model for a lot more people. I mean, 20 bucks for the results that it gave us is pretty good. A little bit slower and obviously not as good as Claude Code, but pretty competitive nonetheless. Now, we talked a lot about complex things with SEO and what you need to do to rank higher and on-site SEO audits and stuff like that. If that's a little bit overwhelming, what I have for you is a free AI search starter kit. It comes in this Google Sheet, but within this Google Sheet is a checklist you can go through step by step on your blog post, on your general pages, as well as some really nice tools and resources that I built for you. Some using my own API keys and stuff like that, but you can have all this for free. This is really going to get you started in your journey to get seen or get more visibility in the AI search engine. I'll leave a link to where you can get that as well. A lot of cool custom GPTs and a lot more tutorials here as well to get you started. Again, if you want me to make the tutorial on how to install Kimi Code, how to give it access to all the tools to do SEO work, leave it in the comments below and I'll get to it. Cheers.